folks, good evening. We're cooking more Brussels sprouts. I should probably just start naming this Brussels sprout talk instead of coffee talk. Because that's pretty much what I do now is cook Brussels sprouts. They're freaking delicious. And if I had an oven, I could have done the entire bag all at once, but I ain't got an oven. Hashtag van life. Oh man, do I have something to rant about today? Oh, buddy. Golly. It's actually like right in fucking line with what I do. And that's to tell you how it is. I ain't sugarcoating shit. So yesterday Today's Friday. Yes. Was it yesterday? Something like that. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Doesn't matter. I saw an article. It was, what was I doing? Doesn't matter. I saw an article. It was like one of those, like, hey, here's the news. Take a look at this hot story. Almost like, you know how like Yahoo's got like the stories, you know what I mean? When you go to their homepage or Google. It was on Google. So I opened up a new web page because I only have 98. You think I'm kidding? Check my phone. Google Chrome has like 80 tabs. DuckDuckGo's got maybe like 60, 70. Whoops. Don't really care. Real quick though. That was probably noisy, annoying. Oh well. Check out. I cleaned the stove yesterday. Damn. Just so I could dirty it up right now. It is Friday evening, 7 o'clock-ish. Gonna cook. We're not in a huge rush. I don't got work in the morning. Working Sunday, but not Saturday. I'll take it. A little double time Sunday for you. Yes, sir. This article. I couldn't believe it, but I could. It was a van life article on not Forbes, Fortune. Fortune.com or Fortune.org or Fortune, kind of like a finance, site. I seen it, and it was kind of a clickbait title, like van lifer or digital nomad says van life isn't everything that it's cracked up to be. Something along those lines. And I'm like, yeah, where the fuck you been? So, I'm like, yeah, like, I know. Like, I know. So I click it. I gotta see it. I gotta read a little bit, right? And it is about this young lady. I'm going to do my best because I always say I'm going to link stuff in videos and then I forget to link them in the description. I'm going to do my best to remember to put this one in there so you can go read the article that I'm talking about. For reference. Opening disclaimer. Like, I'm not mad at her, this young woman, that, like, kind of fell victim, but also, like, I'm not mad at her, but also, like, quit playing victim. Like, you made a decision. Like, own it. She's not asking for handouts, but she's like kind of complaining. You know what I mean? Like, and I've mentioned some things in the van that are like kind of tough, but I've also kind of backstepped and been like, but I chose to do this. Like, it's my fault. I'm responsible, like, for the situation, right? There's things very rarely, but sometimes out of your control, you know? But overarchingly, like, grand scheme of things, like, you chose to do that. Like, so own it. You know what I mean? You can voice and maybe teach and, like, try to send a different message going forward. Great, perfect, but don't play this pity party thing. Like, nah, I ain't gonna fly. Like, you caused that on your own. Like, you made that decision. So, am I, like, mad at her? No. You know what I mean? Like, am I also, like, yeah, like, what'd you think? Like, yeah, I am. Also saying that as well. Like, yeah. But, anyways, the grand scheme of the little article is that this young woman got a notice that her rent was going to increase in her apartment. She decided she'd been seeing a bunch of these videos online about van life. She's like, I'm going to give it a go. Cool. I like it. Like, kind of like a no options mentality. Like, hey, I don't have a choice. Like, it's put up or shut up. I've seen it. I enjoy the videos. I think it's an interesting lifestyle. At the time, she had a digital job, so where, like, she can work remotely from her computer. Like, that, it lines up. Like, it makes sense, like, as to why she would want to pursue something like that. It's very... This lifestyle is very conducive to that kind of work. That's a majority of individuals doing that. I don't know. I can't put a statistic on it, but I would venture to say I am an anomaly of a van lifer that works in a trade. I don't think very many people are doing this. Now, on the flip side, a ton of people work in trades and live in campers, like tow-behinds. That is a very prominent thing. For almost the same reasons as like why I'm doing it is because it affords mobility. So, you know, if you work a kind of a niche thing or whatever, like, it doesn't even have to be niche. Like, kind of everything in construction is niche, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a particular set of skills, like, and use those skills and find you. Nah, I'm not Liam Neeson. But you can chase work is what I'm trying to say. And if you want to explore places, or if you just want to chase work because maybe your area, say you do roofing, you're in New England, you're not putting a roof on unless it's an emergency in the middle of winter. Like, that doesn't happen. And even then, like, it probably just still won't do it. So you summer in New England, and then you winter down south because you can work year round, right? So you chase work that way with the weather in your career field, in your trade, in your craft. And people do it in campers a lot. Whoa, almost lost a finger. But I don't know of a lot of dudes or girls doing like trade work, like construction, out of a van. Anyways, the young lady in the video, or she does videos, she does TikTok and Instagram. At the time was doing digital work and had a freelance thing. So she had a side job and a main job that were all remote. Kind of lines up with being able to do it. So she took the plunge. Cool, good for her. She bought, I had to take notes on the chalkboard. She bought a $5,000 van. Okay. I haven't seen the van. I haven't seen it. There is one video in this web article that shows like a tiny piece of inside of her van, and it looks to be a newer ProMaster or Transit or Sprinter. One of the three major platforms that people are using to do van life in. I say that just based off of the interior metal structure that is shown. So she bought it for $5,000. I don't know any vehicle, period. I'm going to say since 2015. I don't know any vehicle you can get for $5,000 that would not have a potential for mechanical issues. Like potential. I'm not saying you can't drive off the lot with a $5,000 vehicle from, in this time range and not have an issue. Like you can. You could absolutely. I sold my race car for less than that, and that thing was freaking mint. Man, I missed that race car. It didn't have any issues at the time of selling it, right? But it was an older vehicle. It had some miles on it. Like, there is potential for things to go wrong. For $5,000, you're not getting a turnkey, I don't need to touch anything for 20, 30, 40,000 miles. Like, it's not happening for $5,000. Like, ain't happening. It was not built out. So the interior was not built. The article does not speak to her mechanical aptitude. Don't know if she swung a hammer in her life. I don't know. I haven't researched her. I don't have social media anymore. I don't care to track her down. She labeled it as glorified homelessness. Sure, if you want to be like upset about it, like you're mad that your decision wasn't everything social media painted it out to be, which she does admit. Once I think maybe once she took inventory and like accepted like some responsibility for her decision. Yeah, like another. I took as many direct quote chalkboard notes as I could. This is a quote. Harder. I can't even read my own writing. What the heck? Harder than what it seems like in videos. Direct quote from her. Yeah. That's everything in life, though. Everything. You see someone else do something does not mean that you can do it. Like, and this is like, I haven't gotten into Chaos Machine yet. I'm almost done with Dope Sick. Man, I can't wait to open up that other book. But like, guys, since when is like seeing someone else do something, like since when does that give you the idea that you can do it to that same capacity? Like in the moment. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying you're not capable of doing it. I'm not saying you can't get to that point. But, like, some things, like, hey, can I pick up a spoon? Like, this guy picked up a spoon. Yeah, I can do that. I've done it. Or even if you haven't done it, I picked up a fork. Looks pretty similar, but I could do it. Cool. Great. But, like, we're talking way beyond that. You know what I mean? Like, that's like seeing somebody run a marathon and being like, oh, man, like, I don't know, I'm 20-something years old. Like, I used to run track in high school, or I'm like 30 years old. I used to run track in high school. Like, I'm still kind of active. Like, look, that person's, like, not even in that good a shape. I bet I could do it. Like, can you do it? Probably, but it's going to be a lot fucking harder than it looks. Or maybe that person is not freaking sweating like crazy or breathing hard because they've figured out how to pace themselves and all that kind of stuff. But, like, social media has, like, brainwashed people into seeing these videos of, like, the glorified van life stuff or whatever, entrepreneurship, making money, doing businesses, relationships, all this stuff, and people are like, oh, I could do it, or oh, I need that. Like, dude, like, pump the brakes. And she's saying, like, in the article that there's only, like, one side of the story shown. Didn't look hard enough. I've been doing it since day one. I'll show you the cool stuff. Like, look at my van. It's great. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It took me 2 years to do it. It costs more than some people are willing to spend on the interior of a van. The entire setup costs more than some people are willing to ever spend on a vehicle at all, period, ever. Yeah, like, reality. So that, like, it was crazy to read that. What else do I got? Oh, and then, like, kind of the part of the article that I, like, get upset with, and, like, she almost, like, she felt entitled, or, like, she was kind of blaming some misleading parts of the lifestyle, is, like, when she decided to do that, which it should have been a major hint, like, hey, if your rent is going up, it's probably for a reason, right? Inflation or whatever. Rent going up, not so much. I don't know the whole situation. If the landlord needed to increase rent because of utility costs, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a rental property owner, so I don't know contributing factors as to why I would want to or need to raise someone's rent. Maybe just because in the local area, the way the market is, like, I can demand a higher rate, right? Granted, she was notified, so it wasn't an abrupt thing. Which, if I'm not mistaken, probably if you're a good landlord or whatever, like, you give notice, and in the original lease agreement, it probably speaks to raising prices in the terms and conditions and timeline that you'll have that done on. But anyways, she speaks to gas prices, food, and just everyday living costs. Like, yeah, like, some forethought into van life. Like, hey, you can't go to freaking Costco and get the 80 pack of paper towels. I just spent $7 yesterday on 2 rolls of paper towel. $7. Because I can't have the 14 pack in here. Where am I going to put it? Excuse me. I can have that in here. I'm choosing not to because I prioritize space for other things, right? I need to have, everything I own is in here, for the most part. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for letting me store some things there. I have some tools there, but pretty much they'd even attest to this. Like, I don't really have anything there. Mom saved a suit that I got from Goodwill. Thank you. Didn't ask you to save it, I don't think. But like everything else is here, like everything. And once I finish my job box carrier, I'll be able to have all of my tools here. So unless they're keeping things because they want to keep them there for me, that's out of my control. Like, I'm not saying, here, save this for me, thanks. And my heavy blanket, Mom, it's not cold enough yet. That I did ask to keep there. I have my heavy knitted blanket from Sarah that I bought off her, that I am storing there because I don't need it. And it is a bulky item that I don't really have storage for. But I can probably get another tote for that kind of stuff and put it under the bed once I get rid of all my tools from under the bed. So we'll have options once the back rack carrier is open. She then talked about, kind of alluded to, no one talks about emergencies on the road, like a flat tire. Like, yeah, I mean that can happen in your Volkswagen Jetta. Like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna go to work, or you'll go to work. I don't know. You'll show up late. Whatever. You'll arrange something. But either way, like, don't blame van life for your poor financial planning. Like, I commend her for going all in, but also, like, don't shit on it because you didn't take all these things into consideration, right? You can't blame a movement or blame a fad because of your poor planning. That's not how that works. It's your fault. Just like it's my fault. If I go in the hole with something on this, like, I almost freaking flipped it and lost my house. What would I have done? I don't know. I talked about that. Like, I need to figure something out. And guess what I have done? Not figured anything out. And guess whose fault it would be if I get fucking T-boned and this thing gets totaled? My fault. That is how it is. You know what I mean? But to not have, like, an emergency fund, or to have coverage, or to have insurance, or to have, like, the warranty or a protection plan on your tires when you buy them, like, that's on you, dude. Like, that's not a reality of van life either. Like, that's just life in general. And this woman's a little bit older. She's not 19. I want to say the article said she was 33. Like, that's just part of adulting. Like, grow up. But, I mean, I'm not mad at her. I'm not like, I'm sure it seems it. Like, I'm glad she kind of maybe, like, came to terms with, hey, this isn't everything that I cracked up to be. I mean, I don't think she has a choice but to realize that. But folks, like, that goes for anything. Owning a home, owning a dog, a cat, having a kid, like, all those things, like, looking at it from the outside, it's all perspective driven, right? Like, everybody has a different perspective when they're not in the situation, right? I don't know. I am gonna toot my own horn, though. I keep it real. I've kept it real from day one. I told you, I poop in my kitchen. I did it the other day. It was great. It is what it is. It is kind of goofy doing it, though, because I can see out the window, and, like, I'll usually be somewhere, like, pretty, like, populated. I'm working in pretty much Boston. Like, there's a lot of people here. And I know during the day, like right now, people can see me because there's more light in here than there is outdoors. It's a very darkly tinted window, but that doesn't matter. You can still see the outlines and shapes and all that stuff. But during the day, even if the lights are on in here, typically you can't see in because there's more light outdoors than in, and the dark tint kind of like mirrors the reflection outdoors. Anyways, it's funny sitting here pooping, and like you can see, like people walk by or something, and I'll see them like look, and I still, it's been 2 years I've been in the van, almost, and I get nervous, like, oh shoot, can they see me? Like I'm like, oh shoot. But you'll see them just kind of like looking, looking at the van. It's a monstrosity. You can't help but look. And I was like, man, like they don't know I'm pooping in here. Or they do, because maybe they walk by and it smells and they're like, ugh. But funny. What else do I have to say on that? Oh, she commented on rainy days. Like, rainy days suck in the van. Like, yeah, what have I been telling you? I've said that multiple times. There's nowhere to go. You got nowhere to go. You have, in my case, like 24 inches wide. I got a 10-foot strip to walk back and forth. That's it. But not even that, because I got the dog. He'll be in the way if he's not on the front seat, which he usually always is, because that's his spot. But, yeah. Man, was that something. I'm really going to try to link that article in here. Not link it. Post it. I guess link it. I don't know. It'll be in the description, I guess, of this video. But, yeah, guys. Van life. It ain't everything it's cracked up to be. Like, don't fall victim to, like, the posh, like, oh, look at me hanging out, drinking wine on the beach with my projector screen strung up on the van, and me and my significant other have sandy butts and we're half naked on the beach. Like, whoo! Like, bro, I rode around with a freaking bag of poop in my van for hours because I just couldn't find a trash can. Like, stuff happens. Could have said shit, but that would have been a bad pun. Shit happens, get it? I guess it was alright. Yeah. But, I mean, it's what you make of it, too. It's also where your expectations are, right? So, I mean, if you go into it expecting, which I think that's where her frustration is, frustration. Apparently I have a hard time saying the R in there, in that word. So I've been told. Allegedly. Yeah, I think it's where your expectations are, too. Like, if you go in thinking it's going to be the Sandy Bottoms frickin' cutesy, fun movie night every night, like, well, you're going to be terribly disappointed, dude. Like, terribly. Because it ain't like that. Now, I mean, it can be if you set up your van life to be like that. Like if you have the capacity to work mobile, and it sounds like this young woman didn't have her finances put together exactly, because she talks about how expensive everything is. Welcome to life. Like, period, as an adult. Inflation or not, like, shit's expensive. If you want to go sit on the beach and play and not work, like, that's expensive. I don't care what year you're born in. Like, it doesn't matter. Because how are you paying for your other bills and necessities? Like, I don't know. But anyways. I don't know where I was going with that. Dang it. Oh well. Oh well, friends. But I mean, also too, like, she was in Atlanta, in Georgia. That's where she, or the article says she's at or from or whatever. But also too, like, I don't want to judge too much, but there was a video on the website that this article's from her social media that shows the storage unit that she rents to have stuff in. And like one look at that, and I'm just like, what are you doing with your life? Because it's a storage unit, and it's one of those big like multi-floor indoor units type storage facility with maybe like the 3x4 locker space with the roll-up door. She talks about in the video going to like get some stuff or something, and like she shows it, and like I'm pretty real, but also like I'm not like I wouldn't have shown that. Like I would be embarrassed because of like I guess my standards to show that. I mean, never in a million years would I have a storage unit that looks like that. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Now, will I show you that I have dirty laundry on the floor? Yeah, I will. I just did. Is the van always like spick and span, super clean? Absolutely not. There's stuff all over the bench. My bed's not made. Mom's gonna be pissed. Like, I'm comfortable showing that. Is it a little bit embarrassing? Yeah, it is. But it's also reality. Like, her storage unit, it wasn't full, which is cool. She's not a hoarder. But it was just stuff thrown everywhere. No organization. Like, there was clothes all over the floor. Like like these are dirty clothes. Like I need to do laundry. Those are about to go in my little hamper bag. But they're on the floor because they're just dirty clothes. I just got done with a workout. I'm explaining, not making an excuse right now. Like in my head, like, hey, I know those are dirty. I didn't want to move his bed to get to the hamper, so I left them there. When I kind of do a little bit cleaning up in a little bit after dinner, like, they will go in the hamper, right? There was no containers in this storage unit. Like, not a single box, container, organization item, nothing. Just stuff strewn everywhere. And you want to build a van? Where are you gonna, I mean, do you just want to have like a blank slate van and just throw your shit everywhere? Like, you can do it if you want. But like, don't complain then that your van doesn't look like everybody else's, because like, you don't want it to look like that. You just want your shit everywhere. You don't want cabinets and things to like put your things in. I'm ranting at this point, but so be it. Because I don't need to be up at 3:15 in the morning. Although I will still try to be up early. I am still sleeping in the gym parking lot. I will still go to the gym in the morning. But maybe not at 4 o'clock. Maybe it'll be like 5:30 or something. I'll sleep in, treat myself. Treat yourself. It's the weekend. That seems like a lot of rice. The good part about the macros that I got going on, macronutrients, 3 core ones: carbs, fats, proteins. Those are like the big hitters in your nutrition. Macro, micro would be like your fiber, your sodium, your small things, right? It will afford me a good Thanksgiving. That's for sure. Now I can't gorge. I can't go cheating. No desserts. I still need to track everything, so I have my scale. I have a wedding to go to this next week. And I don't exactly know how I'm going to eat there. Because I can't fit this in a pocket. Like, it's not going to happen. I can eat beforehand and then just not eat and be that weirdo that just sits at the table the entire time. I can have the salad, like, that's for sure. Like, that's no questions asked there. Because I could easily budget, like, the greens essentially are nothing. But I could budget in the fat a little bit for the dressing, for sure. So that's not that hard. But, like, everything else, like, man, because it's hard sometimes to catch, like, a good estimated, like, weight. Like, I'm going to try right now to weigh out 5.5 ounces of chicken without weighing it. Like, it's not on the scale. We're just going to do it. This weighs 1.3 ounces. If I could do this fast enough, I just tared it. So it should show it's at negative 1.3. Okay, I think this is it. Oh, 5.2. Nope, 5.1. It adjusted. Oop, let's make sure nothing's touching the scale. 5.1. Can you see that? 5.1. Negative 1.3. Not bad. All right. Not that bad. But that's based off of, like, I've been doing 5 ounces for lunch. So, like, I kind of know what that looks like in this chicken with the size that I cut it. You know what I mean? But going somewhere and just getting, luckily it's a buffet, it's buffet style dinner, which is good. So, well, good and bad, because it might have been better to be able to pick ahead of time to know what's, like, on the menu. You know what I mean? But I'm sure there's probably going to be a chicken dish. There's probably going to be a beef dish. And maybe some fish. I don't know. We'll figure it out when the time comes. But that will be a slightly difficult. No alcohol. Not a big deal. Haven't had an urge to drink. So that's kind of whatever. But weddings are, like, not, like, fun and special, but, like, it's usually just a time you have some drinks. And it's gonna, like, I'm gonna end up seeing a boatload of people I haven't seen in, like, years. Like, majority of the people there I haven't seen in 10 years. Which doesn't mean I have to drink, but, like, it's just one of those things. Like, oh, let's get a beer, let's freaking talk. You know what I mean? I can talk without a beer, but I'm doing it right now. Been doing it for almost 40 minutes. Holy smokes. This might be the longest one yet. Me ranting about how some lady was ungrateful about her van life experience. Like, man, that taught you a bunch of shit. I don't know if she's ungrateful. She kind of sounded it in the video. Not video, the article. But that's me assuming. It's my opinion, my assumption. I shouldn't assume. It's one of the rules. No assumptions. Yeah, I think that's it, folks. I'm going to eat this massive amount of rice and Brussels sprouts and chicken. I don't need to cook for tomorrow because I have the day off of work. So I can have hot meals every meal. Well, I mean, I do at work too. But, I am excited to have a fresh breakfast sandwich though, not out of the refrigerator. That'll be nice. So I still got to do my overnight oats though, because they won't be overnight oats if I don't do it overnight. Well, you guys will see this on Saturday morning. Last thing, the gym, bro, their Wi-Fi is like lightning. When you're watching today's video, Friday, yesterday, because today's Saturday if you're watching this, it was like a little bit longer of a video. It was probably at least 20 something minutes. It uploaded in like 4 minutes in the gym. I was like, damn. Usually, like, if I'm doing it just from my phone, just on like cell service, that's like a 30-40 minute upload. I gotta leave the phone plugged in because it'll die halfway through. Like, it's a mess. But yeah, I mean, for the price I pay at that gym, like, it should be lightning. That's for damn sure. Don't you know? And I'm kind of stoked because it's the weekend. I could take longer in the gym. I don't got to rush out of there and do the minimum. I could be there longer. I can hit the sauna, the hot tub, the cold tub, whatever I want. Use their blow dryers. What's up? They do. It is kind of nice. I need to bring my container in. Not really, because I have a full container. They got little containers of Q-tip. They got mouthwash with little shot glasses. You pump it into a shot glass. They got body wash and shampoo and conditioner already in the shower. Like, that's not even a thing. I haven't used my own soap in weeks. Well, ever since I started going to the gym. Oh dear. Wicked sore too, that's for sure. All right, I think that's enough, because I'm just ranting and raving. Have a good day, yeah? Let it be known, I haven't hid nothing. I tell it how it is. Van life, it's awesome. Most of the time. Most. Not always.